Bow! What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning into the Nick and Mal Show. I am Nick Johnson, one half of the Nick and Mal Show. My brother is on vacation right now. Mally, hope you're having a good time with Shorty and your people. You feel me?
But who's here?
We got Bala in the building. Yeah. My second favorite co-host.
Let's go.
My white boy. Thank you for pulling up and holding it down. But we also got somebody very special in the building. Extremely motivational person. And I'm excited for y'all to hear this person's story. Just hear the energy that he speaks with when you come into contact with him, right? Ladies and gentlemen, we have Ed Lee in the building.
How y'all doing? It's Coach Ed Lee, head trainer for LeeGit Training. The former Division I athlete, 23 years old. Got a lot to talk about, man. We got a lot to talk about. I hope everyone's tuned in. I hope everyone have a pen and pencil because you might get some wisdom out of this.
It's some gems. It's some gems to be dropped. Listen, I remember, first of all, when we was talking on FaceTime this week, you said something to me that I've never heard a person coming to the show said. He was like, I hope the people are ready to hear what I got to say because I have a story to tell. I have lessons to drop. And that, I'm like, oh shit, okay, let's go. You feel me? So I just want to let y'all know that's the type of energy Ed is coming with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And also, I remember, so me and Ed went to high school together, and that's how we initially met. And it didn't really end too well. Ended unceremoniously, to say the least. Not us. Tell people what happened before we get into your story. What happened with the Fort Hamilton situation?
So, Fort Hamilton wasn't the best situation for me at the moment. It was too far. The team sucked. It's not what I originally thought I was heading into out of the 8th grade. They just won the championship, so I was thinking I was going to a winning program. By the time my sophomore year, it was declining dramatically, and so was my grades as well. So, and nothing was getting done from the coaches to help me out in regards of my travels and things like that. And then we was losing. So I'm losing in the classroom, I'm losing on the field. What the hell I'm staying here for? My teammates didn't know everything. You get what I'm saying? And they didn't know all of that this is the first time he probably even known about my grades even dropping, but I had to make a decision. And I was like, all right, I didn't plan on leaving, but when I started to go to, it was a training facility and program called Prototype, I bumped into different players of my caliber, different coaches, you know what I'm saying?
Different players of his caliber, that's crazy.
Caliber.
We wasn't of your caliber?
Nah, bro, I wasn't of my caliber. At least not at the time, not at the moment. Not at the moment, you get what I'm saying? I had high expectations, had high goals for myself. I always put goals for myself even at the young age.
I'll say this about you right now in high school, right? And it's something that I never knew was important, but today I know. Having lofty expectations of yourself, even though they outlive where you're currently at. And I feel like you've always, at least when you were at Fort, you always thought you were way better than you actually was. And I think that resulted in you becoming the player you became at Grand Street and eventually going to D1.
Right, because it's like it goes into like manifestation mode. Right. You get what I'm saying? If you leave yourself in a box, you're going to stay in that box. But if you believe that you could break out that box, that's all that you need. You don't need any education on how to break out that box. You don't need any finances to how to break out that box. You don't need any experience to how to break out a box.
You're going to figure it out.
Yeah, you just need to believe that I can break out that box. And I was believing that I'm a Division I football player no matter how much anyone say I'm not.
So now I got to defend my guys because I feel like we did have some dudes that was on your level.
No,
I feel like Michael Brooks was on your level.
No, you did.
I was on your level.
No, you wasn't on my level.
Wow.
Mike Brooks was definitely on my level. Now you was a big.
One of the best offensive linemen.
You was a big guy that could move, bro. You really was able to move. Now to my level, remember where my mental state was. My mental state was Division I. So my level was like, all right, Division I caliber. Are you a Division I offensive lineman? What's stopping you from being Division I lineman is your height. So that's why I'm saying not my caliber. My caliber is like, all right, I'm trying to get here. I need to surround myself with people that are there.
Do y'all have any Division I? First of all, Grand Street offensive line sucked. So
but they looked the part.
I was better than better than every single offense, and I don't even get into my football career, but I was by head and shoulders better than any offensive lineman at Grand Street.
First off, you had the proper coaching. Second of all, at Grand Street, they looked the part. They was 6'3", 6'4" linemen, offensive linemen. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was 6'3", 6'4", 6. We had twins that was both, 6'5" at tackles.
Those are scholarships right there.
And exactly. Scholarships just is going to be written. But they wasn't coached well. So, yes, they sucked. But they had the figure. You get what I'm saying?
Run left, run right, block for lefty, block for Sharif. It's going to be a touchdown regardless.
You running back?
No,
receiver?
I was safety.
Safety?
Yeah.
Just defense you play?
Yeah, we just solid defense. Okay. But for him, they had me play both ways. I was quarterback and a safety.
Taxing
That's
on
another
your body.
thing y'all did at Grand Street. Y'all only played one way, right?
Only one way.
And you won a chip?
Do your job. Nah, we didn't win a chip. My year, we went to, the second round?
Yes.
Yeah, semis. We lost to Lincoln.
Take these headphones off.
They wound up winning the chip, Lincoln. Right. We lost to them twice that year. And he wound up winning the chip.
So
that was Litvak's.
Yeah,
team,
Litvak
right?
senior season. Yeah.
And
where'd you go to college?
Norfolk State University.
Okay.
And then I transferred to LIU.
Okay. Wait, you played football at LIU?
Yeah.
My brother coaches there.
What?
Football? You played football? Scala.
Scala?
Lou Scala.
No.
He was a assistant D-line coach.
What year?
He's been there. I mean, he's been there for years.
I was only there for one semester before calling quits, but we go get into that story.
Yeah, let's get into that, right? So I want to track back a little bit. So you said that you was at Prototype, right? Mm-hmm. The owner of Prototype, the coach of Prototype was Davale Ellis, right? A lot of people who are tapped in with New York City football, they definitely know who Davale is. And we was kind of talking about the fact that what did you learn from Davale, right? Because I honestly, watching Davale as a young man, I'm like, okay, I like what he's doing. He's different from most men that you run into. Maybe his work ethic. I don't know. What did you specifically learn from Davale?
I learned,
if anything.
I definitely being around people for a certain time, you're going to pick up on tendencies. You're going to pick up on attributes and things like that. So being around Davale, he taught us how to work hard. He taught us how nobody's going to care about the excuses that you're going to bring to the table. Nobody cares about what's going on at home. Nobody cares about where you come short at, because those are just excuses. Now, if you continue to make excuses for yourself, you'll continue to be sorry. If you continue to be sorry, nobody's going to want to hire you. Nobody's going to want to work with you. Nobody's going to do anything for you because you're just a sorry person that just always makes excuses for themselves. So I definitely learned that from, basically, society don't care nothing about you. Mm-hmm. If he didn't teach us anything else, he taught us that you have to make your own way because society is not going to make the way for you and they're not going to care for you.
Okay. We could get into the society thing right here. The society wants everybody going the same way. They don't want people like you creating your own, this is your business.
Yes.
Your own training programs. Yeah. They don't want that. They want people working for higher ups who are making all the money and doing all this, and then we do all the hard stuff. And that's why when we come out here and we're sitting on a Saturday morning at 9 a.m. doing podcasts, you're going to a training after this, you're making videos. People that do that are the people that progress in
people
society.
And people in society have people viewing as 9 to 5 easier than starting your own lane.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And really, they're working harder than ever.
Yeah.
When they could just start their own lane and do their own self, and the same thing that society is doing is saying, screw you. You could be like, screw society and do your own thing and realize that it's a lot easier when you just go your own route because you actually want to do it.
Less stressful.
Imagine y'all doing podcasts and getting paid from it. You get what I'm saying? Because it's going to come.
Right.
But that's just, you wake up, you do the podcast, you like to talk, you do this, that's your own lane. So is work really work anymore?
No. That's the manifesting.
You manage it and you become bigger to as now you remove your face from it and now higher.
Right.
Because you already put that work in.
Yep.
That's exactly what the 9 to 5 is. People that already have put the work in and they removed their face and now hired people to work.
That's a very key point you brought up, right? Doing something that you love, bro. I've worked in a hospital where I was working 13-hour shifts, wiping people's asses, and while doing it, I'm like, yo, this is not a job because I enjoyed it that much. I love working in the healthcare field, right? And that's hard work. So imagine if, you know what I mean, the vibe wasn't like that. Ladies and gentlemen, we got King Larry in the building and his is this your his homegirl in the building. Thank y'all for joining us.
What's up?
What's good? This is what do you want to say, Ed? One of the greatest quarterbacks in PSEL history.
Don't gas.
Facts.
Well, he's definitely from that lineage.
Don't gas me, man.
With the Lakers hat on. Shout out to Brown. But all right, so let's get into this. You went to Grand Street and then you went to college. Where did you go to college again?
Norfolk State University.
What was that experience like?
We talking about on the field or off the field?
Both.
Let's both. Let's go on the field first.
All right, on the field, like shit. Excuse my language, but it was rough because I was from New York. New York and Virginia don't get along. You could check the history. We was never welcomed into Virginia. Soon as we step on they grounds, they in fence mode.
They smell it.
They trying to get you out of there because they think that you there to take what's theirs. But really, it's just I'm just here. Let's ball. But
so these are the players you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I got into a lot of fights in the locker rooms. A lot because of the fact that I was from New York and they trying to test me. Yeah. As soon as I got there, I'm play fighting every day. But it's not really play. I don't take play fighting lightly. It's like you testing me. You get what I'm saying? So, and now I'm talking about offensive linemen, defensive linemen testing me. I'm not talking about just regular skill players. And I had my freshman class come up to me, come into dorms, like, oh yeah, Ed, I heard you got the hands. Oh, okay, let's go then. You get what I'm saying?
Just pulling up.
Just pulling up. Like, oh, I heard you got the hands. Like, just like, what's up? What's up? Let's go. Like, because I'm not going back. I'm here. Right. Like you have to really build. You have to really build your fort. I had to build my fort because if I don't, my freshman year, then I'm gonna go through this.
You're gonna be a sucker for your
whole time that I'm down here. You get what I'm saying? So that's I had to really just step my foot in the position that I wanted to be in as when it came to my teammates. You get what I'm saying? And then once I got the respect, now everybody know Ed, now everybody cool with Ed. But it would have never been like that if I would have just laid down to whatever it is that they wanted me to do.
How long did it take for all this harassment basically to settle down?
My whole freshman year was because it wasn't no like my freshman class, it wasn't them. It was the seniors, right. the red shirt seniors. It was them trying to like, who you?
Right.
Yeah, like what's up with you?
Show their
nobody made you scared?
Nah, bro.
You had to be scared of just one person.
Nah, bro. I spit at a D lineman.
Oh.
And I was wild. You know I was wild. So I was like, calling someone a bitch down south is like saying suck my dick in New York. So I spit at him and I called him a bitch. And he was like, all right, I'm gonna see you after practice. I'm like, all right, and do what you would, because this is homecoming weekend. I said, do whatever it is that you gotta do because my boys are coming down here and they not coming to fuck around. You get what I'm saying? So when we got in the locker room, boy was pulling up, and I see, I'm like, oh, this nigga's really coming. This a big boy. Like, oh, he's really coming. So I grabbed my helmet out the locker room, and I was just corner myself. He just take me and just hem me up. This is some strong nigga. I take my helmet. I'm hitting him in his face with my helmet.
Oh,
and
shit.
then now his face bleeding and stuff like that. Now my teammates come and pull him off me. I'm like, bro, I told you, do whatever it is you have to do. But I'm still standing here now.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Now, game over for you. You feel me? We're not gonna speak on that.
Yeah, let's not get too incriminating on the
Were you the only one dealing with any of that stuff? Did you see you were the only one dealing with any of that stuff?
Yeah. And it was so bad. It was so bad that it wasn't just the players. It's the coaches as well. You get what I'm saying?
Okay. Were you the only black kid on the team?
No.
Yo,
it's
this is football, bro. What are you
HBCU.
It's
HBCU.
HBCU.
Bro, it is not one football team in America with only one black kid on it.
That's true. So these were
Not
black
even
kids coming at you too.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking it's a race thing.
Oh no.
It's just you pulling up from New York.
Well, it's
a
that
New York
thing
thing.
where people
It's-
don't really respect New York football, right? Or dudes from
New York football or New York period, because we have this certain demeanor about ourselves that we feel like we can't be messed with.
Right.
And dudes don't like that.
That's a fact.
Because we enter in their territory, they feel like we have to bow down gracefully. But we just come in like, who are you again? Like, what city is this?
Yeah.
Where I'm at?
What city was that in?
Norfolk,
Norfolk?
yeah.
Okay.
Norfolk, Virginia.
So you actually got injured. Was it your freshman year?
Yeah, I was.
Speak
I
closer
got-
to the mic.
I got there when I first got there. I was on a boot because I broke my foot in a booming game.
I remember that. Yeah.
Fucking punt return.
You
bro.
almost took it to the crib,
Bro.
too. You almost took it to the crib, too. That's crazy.
That was early in the game, right? Like
Yeah, it
first
was.
play or
Second-
something like
no,
that.
was
it was
The
it was
first
a
point, was it?
second drive.
Oh,
Second drive. Hell yeah. Broke my foot.
So how long did it take getting back from that?
Around 4 months for me to start walking. Probably like 6 to 8 months for me to start training again. Yeah.
So you weren't able to play your freshman year in Norfolk.
Nah.
so you think that played a role
Yes. Yes.
to coaching and
Yes. Because people felt like I was there to bullshit. Because when you, as soon as you step on that stomping ground, they expect you to produce right away, and whether it's in practice, whether it's somewhere, you get what I'm saying. But I'm just on crutches, so I'm a New York kid. I'm fly. I'm getting all the attention from they females. You get what I'm saying? And so they're like, "Can you even ball, bro? Like you here, you look cute and all that, but can you ball? Like
Yeah.
what you really here for?"
Unless your name's super valid, you come in injured, niggas look at you funny. Like, all right, bro. This nigga ain't about nothing. You probably remember when I was at Fort, I had mad injuries. I didn't play till my senior year, and niggas thought I was faking injuries.
Yeah.
They thought I was soft.
I thought you was.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Yo, I ain't gonna lie. Coming into, I think you came in your junior year.
Nah, sophomore year.
All right, so when you came in, was sophomore year, my freshman year. When
Yeah.
you came in, I was like, yo, he got to be faking injuries because ain't no way you getting hurt back to back to back.
Nah, it's possible.
It was weird.
Me being a trainer.
But like, I
that's
didn't
very
even know
possible.
that at the time. We all young, so I'm like, yo, this dude is cheating. Like, what are you doing? Because you know we running sprints, all that. But yo, you showed out. though.
Imagine
So
trying to have to defend yourself on something for 3 years and not being able to prove it. But senior year, you know what I mean? I'll say
You
it.
did,
Best
you did
offensive
it.
lineman in the PSEL. That's what I did.
I heard you, bro.
That's what I
Bro, that's
did.
some good ass coaching, bro.
Yeah.
Spinelli,
Yeah.
bro.
Spinelli,
Don Spinelli.
he's the best probably coach I've had in general in all of football. I'm telling you, as far as the mental aspect, the technical aspect is unmatched. Like the shit that he
And
was
it's
teaching
very
us, bro,
basic.
basic.
One thing I could comment on all of our experiences at Fort Hamilton was that you're definitely going to learn how to block and tackle, like, period. You know what I'm saying? If anything else fails, you know how to block and tackle, period.
And that's Coach Wilson and that's Coach Spinelli.
Yeah.
Yeah, before we get any further, this is what Ed said before he pulled up. He's like, he left Fort Hamilton, and you probably felt this way too, because your ass transferred too. He said he felt like the players on the team wasn't on his level
It wasn't
Yeah.
of my caliber.
and his caliber.
That's exactly what I said.
What do you have
I
to add
could-
to that?
I could attest to that, but obviously both of you guys was a year older than me, so I didn't really know. I was just trying to get a grip into like high school football as well. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I didn't really know what Ed was going on with, because it was low key. I don't think you noticed. Like, it was low key. Like, damn, where Ed at? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Out of nowhere.
I don't know. I remember the day that you left. So you remember we used to sit down in the weight room?
Yeah, after weight room.
We are sitting down, just got done working out. Ed ain't come to school today. All right, that's a little weird, but that's
Yeah.
nothing. Ed just missed today.
Yeah.
See him coming through the door. You see Ed, then you see his mom. And y'all ever watch You Got Served and when Sonny switched teams? You remember that? He just walked past these
That's
niggas
right.
like,
Yeah.
Ed just looked at us and walked to the coaching office and walked out. Ain't say a word to nobody. And then the word started like, oh, Ed just left.
That's how I knew something was up, bro, because we all sitting on the floor at the weight room. I'm like, yo, hold on, time out, bro. Because your father was there too. But he was waiting in the weight room while
you and your mom went to do your thing. Yeah.
Coaches or whatever. So we looking like, yo, he didn't just leave just now, bro.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying? We asking, and I right next to us, I said, bro, he just left, bro. Then, the train rides, bro, would be lit. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't lit. It wasn't lit. So he was like, yo, bro, all right, bro. I wouldn't say it was like, what we gonna do now, but who's next up, bro? Like you're saying, like, and at the time I was competing for a spot. Shout out to Adrian, and like it was just like on the strength of who's next up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that, we can't dole on the same person all the time because he ain't here.
That's
what
I'm
saying. But we made it for. We did pretty well last season. What we did. We went 6-4, lost in the first round.
6-4, lost in the first round, and then the next year, that's when we really came out.
Yeah, we really like surprised a lot of people. Word. And we lost.
We lost to quarterfinals to E-Hall, who went on to lose in the finals.
Yeah, and their Grand Street team did well their junior year, too. I think I lost.
Junior year?
Yeah.
My junior year, we lost to boys and girls, bro.
And what? First round, second round?
First round.
I remember that. I remember that.
Fucking lefty.
They fumbled at the one?
They said it was a fumble, but he crossed the line, bro. He crossed the line.
I remember that. It was a big thing.
Yeah.
But for what y'all was doing, getting all those transfers, that was not supposed to be a game that was even close.
Bro, none of our transfers went through. Remember, so if our transfers go through, if Coach Perez doesn't write a letter about Edwin Lee to the PSAL and I get cleared right away, we don't play boys and girls because our record doesn't even come close to it.
Coach Perez wrote a letter and stopped you from being able to play?
Yes. That's why my junior year, I had no film. I only played 3 games my junior year. But I got my Division I scholarship off of 1 year of film, my senior year.
You killed him three games though.
Yeah,
I
had 23 tackles.
His first game was against us. For Hamilton.
Yeah, that was the first game, bro.
I remember that.
That game was
lost.
We lost.
Mike Brooks.
Back to back kick returns, bro.
You guys were beefing during the game?
Basically, it was.
There was hate for this.
Let me tell you how it was.
But he wasn't beefing. In his mind, he was calculating his move next.
No. Let me tell you how it was.
Like, damn, I like their jerseys.
I'm gonna tell you.
Oh, you did the same thing?
Let me tell you how it was. Let me tell you exactly how it was, right? So I have a lot of family on the Grand Street coaching staff, even when I transferred to Grand Street, right? So my older cousin, Chris, shout out to Chris, little Chris, and I saw him in the barbershop in Brownsville, right, in Messier. And I'm like, yo, it was good. He was like this.
Him?
No, cousin.
Oh, your cousin.
I saw him in the barbershop. I was like, yo, what's up? He did like this. See you tomorrow. I'm like, yo, it's like that? All right, copy. Then the game went on. We won. Shout out to Michael Brooks. But it was a good atmosphere, yo.
Shout out to all the guys, man. So let's get back to you, Ed. So you broke your foot Boomer game, and then you went to college. You was injured.
Yeah.
How did you come to tear your labrum then?
So a lot of things about the body I didn't know about. A lot of techniques regards to benching and even sleeping the wrong way could stretch out a lot of minor muscles in your shoulders, right? So benching heavy weight, and now we blocking. So I was blocking someone. I mean, I was shedding a block. So now once I shed a block, my shoulders here, out of position. And it just, through the force of him trying to continue to block me and pressure right here, my shoulder popped out of place. And anytime your bone pop out of place, it tears muscles. So that was like one of the weirdest feelings I ever had, because there's a lot of nerves in your shoulder. So when your bone pop out of place, it's like, it feels like you're about to pass out, because your legs get like instantly weak because there's so many nerves that's going on. Like, I went to the trainer, like, yo, what's going on? I feel like I'm about to pass out. She like, just relax. And I still end up like, cause I was too deep. I was in the too deep, so I was running with the twos. So I'm like, I'm still gonna play. We got A&T. I'm not missing A&T. I'm going to play against A&T. This is when Tariq Cohen was the running back. I'm like, yeah, I want to see this thing. I've been watching film. I want to see how he is in person. So I continued on. My shoulder wound up popping out again like 4 more times, between practice and warm-ups and everything. So I called my pops. I'm like, yo, Dad, like, would you, like, no, you got to get this fixed. So I stopped the season a little bit early so they could schedule my appointment for my surgery.
Did you get hurt in practice? Like,
Yeah, it was in practice.
oh,
It was in practice.
It's the worst one.
And then you said 4 more times, so all in practice, or
All in practice.
And
Because I
then-
didn't really get much playing time. That was my redshirt sophomore year. Yeah, I didn't really get much playing time. They had me in special teams, but that was about it.
and you got surgery on it.
Yeah, I got surgery.
How does it feel to this day? You feel it like getting
This left
tweaking a little bit?
Nah, the left one is actually better than the right.
Okay.
Now the right one for like it needs surgery
So-
because the same way that my left was moving before I actually had the surgery is exactly how my right feel.
where's your mindset at? You get recruited to a D1 school, you get a scholarship, you break your foot, right? In an all-star game. It's not even a real game. It's an all-star game. You probably wish you didn't play that game. And then
Nah, I always wanted to play that game.
that's a fact. We all definitely, that was the game that we all looked to. Unless you was in the Under Armour All-American game.
Right.
You'd be like, fuck that shit.
Exactly.
And then you come your sophomore year and you tear your labrum. What's going through your mind? Because I know, like, injuries take a toll on athletes mentally.
So you mentioned previously how you felt like it was unexplainable on how you get hurt, and everybody just looking at you. Same way when I was in college, like, damn, the next chance I get to prove myself, I'm hurt. You get what I'm saying? So now it's like I'm still getting questioned by coaches and teammates. Like, who are you again, bro? You always hurt, or you this or you that. Because I'm proving myself in practice, but really practice doesn't really mean much.
Nothing.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm also not even given the opportunity to present myself game time either.
Right.
Because it's like coach is not pulling the strings for me to get in. You get what I'm saying? So that's where I was at. I'm like, yo, how can I even prove myself if I'm always hurt?
Right.
Let me ask you a question. The past Ed Lee, we all know, and you would admit this, you had a very big ego.
Yeah.
Correct? Am I incorrect in saying that?
No, you're right.
Do you feel like all that pressure of feeling like people looking at you like, yo, who the fuck is this, was more coming from yourself than the outside world? Maybe you were so cocky in your belief of yourself, and you was like, damn, I feel like I'm making an ass of myself. Not purposely, you got injured, but do you think that's where most of that pressure came from?
You have a valid point, but no, because women talk. You get what I'm saying? And dudes talk more than females now. So because dudes is talking and I am who I am, women coming right back talking to me. So I'm hearing it. You know what I'm saying? And dudes thinking that I don't know, but I know.
Right.
So it's like I gotta do something. And I'm not gonna take it off the field. I'm gonna leave it exactly where the problem is, on the field. So every time I line up, I must demolish whoever's in front of me. And that's where my respect came as a real safety. Like now if you ask anyone on my team that I play with, I wasn't the most athletic, but I was smart and I was physical as fuck. You ask any one of them, I was only 180. You know what I'm saying? Against running backs 200 plus. But I'm physical. I'm not safety that's really gonna smack you. Like, you get what I'm saying? So that's how I made a name for myself. Like, y'all not gonna respect me. All right, I'm gonna lay my pads on you, so you know that anytime I'm coming, that I'm really coming with bad intentions. Because like that's how angry they got me. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that anger, I let that build up every practice and really like just try to take their heads off. Like, and if you don't like it, let's fight then. Because now we talking my language. Because if you feel like I'm going too hard, you feel like I'm like whatever, then let's go. Like whatever it is you want to do. If you want to keep it between the whistles or you want to handle it outside. However, but you're gonna I'm gonna let you know that I'm real physical and I'm real aggressive in my approach.
So there was just a lot of angst there, because considering your first season, your first semester, whatever, you didn't play at all, and everybody's saying what they gotta say. So that's just all that angst building up.
Yeah.
And then once it
And
came
it stayed like that until a point where my problem wasn't with the players no more, because my name already proved myself to the players. So now it's like the players respect me. Now is the players looking at the coaches like, yo, why y'all not putting him in again? You get what I'm saying? Like, he's the most physical safety we got. We got safeties out here ankle biting. Like, why y'all not putting him in? He knows his stuff. We got safeties that's blowing coverages. Why y'all not putting him in again?
And how'd your career end there? What stats?
No stats.
No stats.
No stats.
You didn't
Only time I got in is when it was a blowout. We getting blowed out, and for special teams. So I gotta do special teams footage or whatever. But they never pulled the string to really put me out there at safety. I remember one game we played Central. I was in the 2 deep with the safeties. Both safeties got hurt. They moved an outside linebacker, put him at safety before they even put me in.
Wow.
When you talk about disrespect,
that's disrespect.
Something similar. Something
like,
similar.
what are you traveling me for? I'm all the way here in North Carolina for you to just not put me in, bro?
Yeah.
You just keep me on special teams?
Even more disrespectful. My boy that's about to come here, right? 6'5", about 350, big boy. Plays tackle, right? One of the best, arguably the best tackle on the team. Somehow he got in the doghouse with the coaches. The tackle that they put over him got hurt. They put a tight end at tackle before they put my boy in.
These coaches is devious.
Devious.
I think
Remember, they trying to save their jobs too.
No, they trying to be Bill Belichick.
Yeah, that too.
Bill Belichick bench Malcolm Butler. I can do whatever I want. Like, no, you're not Bill, nigga.
Yeah. So it is a lot.
So you transferred from Norfolk.
Yeah, it got into bad altercations with all the coaches. Head coach called me. He was like, yo, what's going on? I told him what was going on. He was like, have you ever considered about transferring?
Oh.
Like, he told me. He like, because he said, here's the thing. I would never put you in at safety.
Wow.
As long as you stay here, you will always be a special teams guy.
Let me ask you a question. Knowing the person you were in the past, and we're going to touch on this more in depth in a little bit, do you think that you kind of created bad luck for yourself with these people by the way you were carrying yourself? Maybe they just didn't like that persona, that personality.
Definitely. But that's the mature me speaking. But the immature me, 18-year-old Ed Lee, you don't know that because all I knew was New York City. How I was riding around campus, I had BMW blasting music. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was there. Yeah, I'm from New York. I'm gonna blast my music. You gonna know that I'm in the BMW. Feel me? Like, everybody gonna know.
Yo, why does it feel so good to bump your music and drive by people? Like, you want them to hear your shit.
Like, yo, you hear me? No, you hear me? Now turn your head and look at me. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know I'm here. And that's kind of where I went wrong. Just always wanted to be seen all the time. You feel me? Always wanted to be seen.
What was that? Do you think you had an insecurity?
You
came.
You could probably say it was an insecurity because I wasn't getting the attention that I wanted.
From who? Your family?
I only got attention from my parents. You feel me? And I always had to prove myself. So I think I don't think it was insecurity. I think it's because I always had to prove myself. That once I prove myself, now my chest is out. Like, niggas, now what? You get what I'm saying? So, but if I never had to prove myself, if people don't always doubt me or put me in this box, then my chip on my shoulder is not that big of a chip because you kind of believed already. But when you don't believe and you put me in a situation where I have to prove myself, now once I prove myself, I ain't shaking hands with you. Now it's a screw you.
That's a great lesson. I forgot we was doing a breakdown of 48 Laws of Power, and there was a chapter called "When You Aim for Victory, Don't Go Past Your Mark." And basically what it talked about was handling victory, right? So like when people doubt you, and you develop this dog mindset, and it's like, yo, fuck you. I'm going to overcome whatever you're doubting me. You kind of think that mindset is what you need to go through the entire of life with to win. And you never check yourself to see the actual tactical moves that you made to get that victory. It wasn't the fuck you mindset. It's the things that the fuck you mindset made you do.
Right.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get caught up into this braggadocious, like, oh, this is what I did to win, so I'm going to do this the rest of my life. But that's just a lesson because it never does. That's why a lot of people get rich and they go broke because they had a chip on their shoulder. They win, and they're like, "Oh, you can't tell me nothing because what I did worked."
No, then that's the wrong mentality.
Exactly.
And I noticed that from looking back at my old self. It's like I had control over my own destiny. I cannot point the finger at these dudes. I cannot point the finger at the coach. No matter say they didn't pull the trigger or they didn't do it. I played a part in everything that happened in my life.
1000%.
I take full accountability and responsibility of everything that happened in my life. Everything that transpired, Ed Lee had control to have a different outcome. But because Ed Lee was where Ed Lee was at mentally, things didn't happen as planned. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, guess what? How I view it as, I wasn't ready for the success that I wanted.
No.
So if I would have been risen up as fast as I wanted to be risen up, I would have fell.
You've been lost in the sauce.
I would have fell. I would have had so much female attention. I would have had so much financial gains. I would have had, with no discipline to handle the financial gains, with no discipline to handle the attention from the woman, no discipline at all. Just me walking out with my chest out. You cannot ask for something and it's not gonna be given to you if you don't know how to handle it. Yeah. And if you do, it's going to fall quickly.
To keep it football, we see that with a lot of NFL stars, right? Like, I mean, Antonio Brown for a little bit. Yeah.
Johnny Manziel.
These guys got success before they ever became men. And they already felt like they had a idea of what a man is. And, you know, you're successful.
Get hit by
all
life.
The girls want you. Nick Saban coming. It's like, I'm that nigga. Then you realize, like, no.
You're not.
And I'm happy you got the ability to realize that, though.
Yeah.
Early too.
Yeah. It took what, 2 years of counseling. So if anyone is going through hardship, people look at counseling as like, oh, something's wrong with me. No, nothing's not wrong with you. You just need to talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying?
It's so easy to tell yourself things.
You just need to talk to somebody. I never really talked to my moms about my problems. I never really talked to my pops about my problems because I feel like it was my problems. Right. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? And so me going, I didn't want to seem like I was crying to mom, dad, because it was my problem. I wanted to be man enough to figure it out. But why us men can't feel like we have to talk to somebody?
You
gotta humble yourself.
You know what I'm saying? You have to come to realization that you're human.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? You're still human. It doesn't make you any less of a man because you feel like you have to talk to someone.
Right. I would challenge you to promote that more on your social media because there are a lot of men out here that don't know a lot of the issues they're battling with. They need counseling for.
Right.
For example, right? Lately, I'm being vulnerable a little bit. Like, my dad was never really there, and there's a lot of. I'm a very self-reflective person. I'm always trying to fix myself, right? And I'm looking at certain character flaws that I have, and I'm like, why the fuck is that? Like, why do I do this? Why do I do that? Start doing some research. These are the things that are very common when it comes to people who did not have a father figure in their life, right? Like, it's a reason why a two-parent household is very important, right? If you don't have your father there, you have a problem with authority. You have severe emotional issues. And I'm reading and learning this, breaking down and crying at work. One day at work, it became so much, I had to leave. I'm like, yo, I don't feel sick, but I have to leave right now. And I walked into the break room, and there was a guy there, and he was on the phone with his mom. And I made a joke when he got off. I'm like, damn, you're a mama's boy. And he was like, bro, you don't have the least of the idea. Like, I'm really a mama's boy. I'm like, why? Because I'm a mama's boy too. It's like, bro, my dad wasn't there. So she was my everything. And then we start talking about the fact of not having a dad. He told me that he went to 3 years of counseling to get over that pain. Mm-hmm. I never even knew that was something people went to counseling for.
Mm-hmm. And you probably never knew the pain was even there.
I did, bro. I just realized it. Growing up, I was like, nigga, I don't need a father. I say this right now. I have one of the best stepdads. I resented him because of that mindset of I don't need a male figure in my life. And I truly believe that. But that's just young, dumb shit, right? Now I know, number one, a man, a young boy, and a man too. Right now, I need a father figure. And that's why I'm trying to lean on my stepdad and let him understand, listen, I need you to help me learn how to be a man. Because I'm 24 and there's a lot of things that I missed out on.
Exactly.
So I think we need to push that counseling and that therapy more because a lot of people need it. They don't know they need it.
I was forced into it though. I didn't just volunteer and walked into counseling.
What happened?
I caught a charge, and when I caught this charge, the plea deal was to go to a certain amount of counseling sessions. And at first, I'm like, what is this? I'm about to be in the counseling, like, but it was like, and then I wasn't going. So when I wasn't going, my next court date came up, and the judge was like, Mr. Lee, do you understand that you could face jail time for not going to this counseling? Because you haven't, like, you went 50% of the time that you were supposed to go. So do you understand it? Like, and he was upset with me. The fact that he's giving me a chance and I'm just taking it for granted. And that kind of, it's probably one of the
Wake up.
Yeah, one of the like earliest wake up calls in my young adulthood. So once that happened and I started to go to counseling, I'm like, oh, this is not that bad. It's actually helping me speaking. And I became now the leader of the counseling group.
Oh.
As young as I was 21 years old. There's dudes that was in there 35, 40 that still don't see their wrongs.
Right.
And now stuck. You get what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, if I don't hold myself accountable for my actions, I'm going to be just like them. And I'm going to be stuck just like them with no jobs or working jobs off the books because I'm on probation or I got cases pending. Just from being stuck. Just from not wanting to accept guidance and understanding on how life is really going and how everything is in your control and your possession, because that's what counseling taught me, that you can really control everything. If something, God forbid, something was happening right now between us, if I get up and walk away, I control the fact that I'm not a part of what when happened. You know what I'm saying? Whatever transpired. So through counseling, I really, really understood how, let's say, life works and how you can control everything. So it's not like something I willingly did, but I highly, highly suggest everyone go to counseling, especially if you got things going on, but you don't really know what it is. Because it's people that went to school for this that could pull it out of you and have you talk about it and then have you feel free. Yeah. Really feel free.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And when it comes to like
and wisdom is supreme.
Ooh.
Sign up. That was,
you had the one up me.
You had that in the notes, man.
So I'm guessing. So at the point where you're in counseling, you're at LIU right now, right?
No.
Where were you?
I call quits. I call quits already.
So you stopped playing football. So let's backtrack a little bit to while you were still playing football.
Okay.
You told me about a scene, and it's kind of crazy. I definitely want you to talk about it. You said you were in your car. You were searching for change to buy McDonald's because I think you had lost your job.
This was, I lost my job. So the order that it happened in was Norfolk State, transferred to LIU, did one semester, realized that I really didn't want to play football anymore. I realized that I was playing football now to try to prove a point to people that I no longer wanted to fight that battle anymore. I got tired of fighting that battle and putting my body in this type of pain.
Because who cares about anybody else?
Exactly.
You gonna run it up in the real
I feel
world.
that.
Exactly. So then that's when I got the job. Davale put me in position to have my first job. It was like a stipend job. I was only getting $1,400 for the month, working at a school Monday through Friday, 8 to 2. That's not nothing. You get what I'm saying? But it was something at the moment to help me get me on my feet, have idea for myself of what I want to do. Then I caught the charge, and then I lost my job from the school system and everything because it was a part of the Board of Ed, so I couldn't work in the Board of Ed no more with a pending case. So it forced me to now not have a job, and I had to make ends meet on my own. So that's when I started to count change for freaking McDonald's in my car just to, you know what I'm saying, get some food, get jobs off the books, go all the way to Mount Vernon to work 14-hour shifts, come back home 2 o'clock in the morning, and now I'm at York College trying to finish school. So come back, do some homework, then go right back out, go to Queens, go to class, then come back, the same routine. So it was hard.
How long was that?
Tough.
That whole...
This was the whole duration of the 2 years. That's while I was in counseling, because that was my only way to provide for myself. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and as well as me being in school. So I was like just really ripping and running, and through that, like the car accidents I was telling you about, the things that was happening to me myself, it was bananas.
You felt like the walls was closing in on you.
Yeah. I feel like I have no hope, and like I told you, this is the time that I was going to church. I'm trying to do all the right things, not fully, because I was still dipping and dabbing into fraudulent activities. But every time that would happen, my finances would go to a drought opposed to increasing. Mm-hmm. So I realized that me partaking in fraudulent activities, that's God trying to tell me, like, you trying to rob Peter to pay Paul, but you putting yourself in a drought. So I stopped that.
You told me one incident where you caught a lick. Right, and let's touch on your fraudulent activities for Mr. Zogod over here. You hit a lick, and your car got towed for the same amount of money that the lick was for.
Yeah. So imagine you coming up let's say 5K, coming up 5K one morning, you feeling great, and then you just park your car, go upstairs, you come back outside, because now you outside. You just get 5K, you trying to spend some money. Car going. You call up for your car, isn't a pound. In the same exact amount of money that you just made on that lick, it costs for your cars to get out the pound. I was like, if that's not God, then I don't know what is. So I'm just going to call it quits here. And that's when I called it quits.
Was that a moment of enlightenment where you're just
yes,
like,
and
everything's clear to me now?
Everything is clear, but it got worse because now I fully gave my life up.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? For a better way of living. So now it's only getting worse. But I know that if I go back, it's not going to get any better.
So this is, I have so many examples, but in the book of As a Man Thinketh, I was telling you about this. As a man thinketh, so is he. One thing they say is that circumstance lags. So if you're a big person, you eat junk food all day, and you start dieting, you're not going to be skinny. Your circumstance is going to lag, and you're going to start realizing it even more when you do give up that lifestyle. You know what I mean? We hear it in the streets all the time. As soon as you give up the street life is when it catches up to you. That is a real thing. A lot of people get killed as soon as they get out of the street life because it becomes apparent all the negative energy that you've built up. So you going through that situation, okay, you just gave your life to God. You gave up these fraudulent activities, and things seem to be getting worse. What was you thinking? Like, yo, religion is not it.
Yeah, so I was thinking, like, God, are you real? Are you who you say you are? Is society telling the truth about God and how it's a myth and it's just really about energy and this, that, and the third? Like, what's up? I need you to prove yourself to me, who you are and where you hold your stand in my life. And it goes back to me, like, talking to God. God said, like, yo, you did a lot. You did a lot that I didn't want you to partake in. So you must pay before I give you anything.
Okay.
The greatest rapper of all time, Kodak Black, said, hey, chill out, relax. He not the GOAT. I could break that down on a whole separate podcast.
Get on with it.
He said, Lord, you say you're going to forgive me, so forgive me then. Because I done picked my Bible up and read Corinthians. So that's it. That's
my favorite song from Kodak.
Okay.
That's my favorite song from Kodak.
Is that your favorite rapper too?
No, but Versatile, I would, like, in the car and bump that song because from beginning to end, he talks about the different aspects of his life and who he is, from women to streets and everything. And that's kind of where I was.
I was just about to say that.
You get what I'm saying? That's kind of where I was. Like, I had so much versatility to myself, but it's like, who is Ed Lee? You gotta.
Where are you putting your energy?
Yeah,
where are you focusing your energy
you have to
make yourself better.
You have to be one person,
right?
And so I had to give up my versatile way of living and convert it to a positive because everything was negative. So I had to convert it with positive. So that creative mind that I had to participate in fraudulent activities, because that's all it is, creativity. That's everyone who's a scammer and does well at scamming. They're very creative.
I forgot. It was a lady in here doing an interview, and she went to prison for a certain amount of years for doing fraud, and she got hired by like some company to do similar work for them.
Right. Because at the end of the day, you're getting paid for your creativity.
Yeah.
You're getting paid to do something that someone else cannot do. You're getting paid for your mind. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So is a way to convert your talents.
For sure.
A lot of the streets just don't know how to.
Knowing what you want out of yourself and being able to focus that stuff, focus on what you want, that's when you really start seeing growth in yourself. Because instead of having your mind everywhere else, like you said, your versatility, women, money, this, that, you want to do training. That's where you put your focus on, right?
It was before even training, because I had to what I put my focus on was bettering myself.
Okay.
I was out of shape. I stopped playing football. I stopped working out. I was out of shape. So I really had to focus and lock down on bettering myself, health wise and finances wise. So I started training myself, and this was now what? In the midst of coronavirus.
Oh, pretty recently.
Recent. So I spent 6 months just training myself on my roof, and at 12 o'clock midday, I made sure the sun was beaming hot, made sure I had a hoodie on. I put myself in the worst situations possible, because I feel like that's what my life was getting to. Whereas I'm in the worst situation possible, and I know by the time at the end of this workout, I'm gonna come out stronger. And I was putting myself in that mental state as I was training myself, because I knew that I'm gonna break out.
Yep.
You fell in love with suffering.
Yeah.
You
That's where the knowledge comes from.
Hey, you know David Goggins? You listen to his book?
No.
Oh, yeah, you need to.
That would make you a greater person off rip. Because so basically, David Goggins, right? He used to be a Navy SEAL, and I think he retired. Was like 300 pounds, and seen. So he was a regular military officer before. He's seen a military commercial for Navy SEALs. He was 300 pounds, had to get down to like 180, and lost all of that weight in like 3 months. And became a different person. I know
who you're talking about now.
This
too.
dude, he does.
I seen videos.
He does 40-hour races where he'll run 300 miles in 40 hours. Right? In his books, he talk about running and doing Hell Day 5 times on broken feet. You know what I mean? With torn meniscuses and stuff. And he was bodying Navy SEAL training so much that the trainers had to tell him like, "Yo, we don't want you doing anything anymore because now you're disrespecting our workouts." You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's a book with your mindset, trying to get into that dark place and bring out pain because it's going to make you a better person. You should definitely read or listen to that book.
That guy's mind over matter to the max.
And that's what LeeGit Training became, because so as I was training myself, like I said, for the 6 months, my body started to change, my mind started to change. But more importantly, I realized what I was preparing for. And it brings me into one of the toughest physical fights of my life.
Let's get to that. Talk to the people.
I was going to the store for my mom's to get butter one day, and like I said, this is coronavirus, so you have to wear your mask and things like that. I didn't really respect the whole mask thing. I'm still not a fan of the whole mask thing.
Everybody at my job hate me because I always got my mask down.
So we're not
Wait,
gonna get into that.
No, go ahead. I want to hear it.
You work in a hospital. You fucking idiot.
This 90-year-old lady don't got nothing to worry about.
That's why they're mad at you.
Don't ride it, blow.
So I'm still not a fan of the mask, but entering the grocery store, they had a security guard. Security guard was like, you got to wear a mask, but I'm already in. And he's trying to charge me for the mask. We got masks for $2. Like, now you're just looking at me as a way to make money.
Right.
I said, let me just go get this butter and get out. I said, I just want to go get butter. And if I can't go get the butter, can you please allow one of your employees to go get the butter from me, and I pay them, and then I could leave. Like, there's multiple ways we can handle this. But again, I'm still young-minded, stubborn, chest still kind of out. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot, but I still have this arrogance about me that who are you to tell me anything?
Right.
I get pushed out the store. The store owner come. His sons come. And now I see a Caucasian man walk in the store with just a scarf around his mouth. So it's like, all right, I don't need a mask. I just need something to cover my face.
Yeah.
There's a difference. I said, so if I need something to cover my face, why didn't you just say that? I just put my hoodie over my head and I start walking in. Again, they pushed me out. Now the store owner pushed me
Physically
out.
pushing?
Physically pushed me out the store. And now he grabbed a crate as if he about to throw it at me. Before he can even lift his arm up high enough, I punched him in his face. Punched him. The security guard now got me in a fiend. It's choking me out. And he's about your size, but 6'4". By 6'4", 6'5". And
That's a big Mexican.
And his sons are probably your height and your size.
They're Mexican, right?
No, they're Spanish, like probably Dominican or Puerto Rican. They're your size, 4 of them. So when he's putting me in the chokehold, I'm like, all right, this is it. Like I'm just gonna eat it because I punched him in his face. Like if I'm gonna get jumped, I'm just gonna eat it. Like I'm just gonna eat everything that come with. But I realized he's trying to drag me inside the store. He's trying to drag me in. Yeah, he's trying to drag me inside the store. Now they want me inside the store. And as I'm getting choked out, my face is facing outside the door, and I see the doors closing. Like they got, you know how most grocery stores have the sensors?
Yeah.
It's closing in. I'm like, hold on, dogs. This don't seem right. And remember, everything is processing like this because it's happening just as fast. I'm like, hold on. They trying to drag me inside the store. And one got me in a chokehold. One is hitting me repetitively. And then somebody else come over the top and cut me with a machete. You get what I'm saying? So all of this is happening as I'm watching the doors close in. And now I'm feel like I'm getting weak. I'm like, nah, dog, I can't go out like this.
Yeah.
I can't go like this. So I just drop my body weight. I lift up from under him. And now I'm trying to run. So as I'm trying to run, they grab my waist. And I just held on to the doors. Feel me? So now I'm like, all right, it's a battle between me and them. Who's gonna win? And my girlfriend at the time, she was with me. But my whole block, my face is bloody. Everyone in the neighborhood sees me. I'm like, go get my girlfriend. Go get my girlfriend. Go get my girlfriend. I'm holding on. I feel their grip loosening up. So I'm like, all right, this is my chance. So I just yank myself out the door. And I face them and I see, this is when I actually see who was jumping me and how many of them was it. So one of the sons is on the phone. I'm thinking that he calling somebody else. So I snatched the phone out of his hand. And it's 911. I'm like, all right, so we gonna wait till the cops get here. As I got his phone, the dude with the machete come running out the store, chasing me. So I'm running. I'm not running home or anything like that because I got his phone. I want them to think that I'm stealing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm running, bro, and I'm facing him up, shake. You know what I'm saying?
All happening fast,
yeah,
right?
all happening fast. The other brothers is throwing trash at me, trying to trip me up as I'm running. Like I'm in, and this is all in the middle of the street. You know what I'm saying?
What time of day is this?
It's like 12 o'clock. In the afternoon.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? So
broad daylight.
Yeah, broad daylight. And so then my girlfriend eventually come and the dude with the machete, she approached the dude with the machete and she's like, oh, da, da, da. I'm like, what are you doing? You got a machete. You shut up. Like, back up. What are you doing? You get what I'm saying? But females always...
Girls don't give a fuck,
bro.
Protect us though, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why that goes into LeeGit Training later on. But I'm like, yo, what are you doing? And then the dude with the machete is like, yo, I got the machete in my face. Because now it's like, I can't leave because she's here arguing with him. I can't leave. I can't go nowhere. Dude with the machete. But he's not going to do anything now because there's so many people. The cops arrive. Arrested me. You get what I'm saying? Bloody, everything. Arrested me. Bashed my head into the wall. Just threw me into the car. Like just straight mistreated me from beginning to end. And I feel like this fight was just a long fight, a physical fight. And then it turned into a mental fight because I was sitting in the precinct. And I just beat a case. Like I just beat a charge.
Wow.
Like probably 3 days before that.
Oh, man.
And so to find myself back in a situation like, yo, now I'm starting to think like, yo, God, like what's going on? Like the enemy plan, I have dreams about getting arrested and cops often. So I really feel like the enemy goal for me is like to just be locked up or in prison because that's the only way you can stop someone that's creative as me is try to close them up and put them in a box. So I'm in there and now I don't get home until 4 o'clock that morning. So, and how I got home, I had to jog because no bus, no cabs, no anything. And I was asking myself why I'm jogging so much, why I'm running 3 miles a day. But I had to run 5 miles all the way home. You know what I'm saying? So that whole 6 months of training was prepping me for that day.
Wow.
For that short amount of time, that physical fight and that mental fight, which was the longest time. And that's when legit training became a thing and stay ready became a thing.
Stay
because
ready.
If I wasn't ready, I could have been dead because that was a cartel.
Hey man, I was telling you right now, I'm fat. If that was me in that position, nigga, it was quiet. The Mexicans was catching up to me.
That's a wild story right there, man.
So that's when legit training became a thing. And because I caught that, because I'm facing another charge, I can't get no job. I was on the verge of trying to look for a job, and again, I can't find no job. But what we just said when in the beginning, society had this thing about 9 to 5 whereas is making people seem like that's the easiest way out. Just getting a job. It was fix all your solutions, all your problems. No.
That's the hardest. You can't even get a job.
Now I can't even get a job. So it's forcing me to now provide for myself. And that's when I started training. And legit training became
so let's get into that business, but just real quick to put a button on it, it's like you was fighting with God, I would say, because you changed your life, and it's like all these bad things keep happening. And I was telling you, so I feel like that last incident that was horrible was your blessing, because now you have a charge, you can't get a job. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to become a business owner, and that's exactly what you did.
And that happened on Good Friday.
Oh,
Ain't
wow.
that something, right?
That happened on Good Friday.
This past Good Friday? Or
no, last year.
Oh, okay.
Last year Good Friday. Yeah, during COVID. We was fasting. At the time of my church, we was fasting and everything. I haven't eaten because, again, I was getting butter from my mom so we could eat. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we were only able to eat breakfast, and then we fast throughout the day, and then we can't eat again until the next day.
Hold on. So you said after you left the precinct, right? You ran 5 miles home?
Central bookings.
You
I
ran home.
I had to jog home. But what was on my mind was my family got to see my face. They got to know how strong I am. They got to know how tough I am. The last time they see me was in handcuffs with a bloody-ass face. I want to show them that anything that I go through, I'm tough. And y'all could always rely on me. Y'all could always count on me to always come back to provide. I don't care what I go through. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's my promise to my family, even with my business. I want to set y'all all free from y'all jobs. That's why I'm grinding so hard. That's why I'm working so hard. So y'all could be free. Right?
I want to talk about, there's a woman author, Jen Cicero. She talks about the big snooze, which is just energy, whatever it is you believe in, you're Christian. There, stuff happens in your world that tries to stop you from getting to where you want to be, and it's so easy to succumb to that. And she calls it the big snooze. And something like that, most people might see that as just the end, where it puts you into a depression. You don't want to leave the house. You don't want to better yourself. You're just like, damn, this is what I am now, and there's nothing I could do about it. But then you make the best out of it. You got your own business now. You're working every day. And have you seen yourself grow substantially since that day?
You asking me?
I'm asking you. Have you seen yourself grow substantially?
Yeah.
There you go.
I think they could attest to that as well. I've grown so much because I had, let's say, when I first started, I only had one client. That client brought a sister, 2 clients. That client also brought somebody else. I had 3 clients. Now it's starting to get cold. I invested into a fitness studio, small box, smaller than this room. Went on unemployment. I was only charging them $60 a week for unlimited training, right? So I was only making probably $180 a week from all my clients, and the room that I rented out was $634 a month. I didn't even have a profit, right? And so I utilized the unemployment money to pay my monthly rent until my clientele increased. But my clientele never increased, whereas I could comfortably not receive unemployment money. I then moved into a bigger room that cost $1,200 a month, right? So I'm still on unemployment because now is a bigger tab, and I don't have the clientele yet still. Once I met that margin and I kind of surpassed it, I'm like, okay, I'm making a little bit, but I don't want to fall off unemployment. Until probably, I would say 4 or 5 months ago, I really started to see the breakthrough. You get what I'm saying? I started to see the breakthrough. And when I came to the point where I could stop the unemployment, I was like, do I really want to stop this? Because this is free money that I'm getting. God's telling me, like, okay, so if you're going to be greedy, right, I'm just not going to bless you with more. So I'm like, you know what, God, you're right. I don't want to be greedy because I'm taking from other people, households, and mouths, you know what I'm saying, that the government could potentially be funding. So it would be selfish of me to continue to take this money. And then that's when I started to really incline and really see my profit margin to as now is through the roof. So I went from 3 to now having around 50 clients.
Oh, wow. And you're working every day.
Every Monday through Friday. But that's not the goal, though. You get what I'm saying? Now I'm actually just working on freeing myself. You get what I'm saying? To now, because I don't have a business. I'm self-employed.
Right.
Having a business when you hire people to work for you. All right? And that's the goal. Because I love training. I love helping people. What I love most is spending time with my family. I can't spend time with my family if I'm always at work. I don't want to be one of those type of men to just always be at work. I want to actually.
Not that there's anything wrong with
it. There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't. I want to just wake up and be like, hey, what y'all want to do today? Not, oh, we can't do this because I have work and we have to. No, I don't want to be that type. I want financial freedom.
You don't want to trade your time for money every day.
And because the finances that I want, it's not enough time in my day for me to work for it. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
We only have 24 hours in a day. I cannot make as much as I want to make within that 24 hours by working. You have to run businesses within that 24 hours.
Right.
Now you have 4 to 5 businesses that's running itself, the systems that's running itself, and now you can see the financial freedom that you really want to have.
And what you said was key. You started your business without making a profit. That's called building a brand, right? That's what Jeff Bezos did. He was buying shit. For example, to make it simple, he'd buy a book for $10 and sell it for $9. He wasn't making a profit, but he was building a brand. You know, if he wanted a book, you went to Amazon. And to what you said, like, money is not everything, especially when you're trying to start a business, man. You just got to eat shit sometimes to put your name out there. You feel me?
And it all comes out to, at the end, as your reward, because, like, when I just did my taxes, for when I first started, 2020, LeeGit Training came up as a loss. So I didn't have to pay any taxes on it. But I got money back from the government. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people are scared to even start because they feel like their profit margin is not there. No, start it because they're not going to ask for anything that they know that you don't have. As messed up as the government is, they're not that messed up. Right. They're actually in cahoots with people of business. Yeah, because our system is ran like a business. Right. It's a system for business.
Business owners stimulate the economy, man, and that's why
capitalism right there.
That's why there's all those tax breaks for people who are in business and who have employees who have real estate.
And we talk about New York City, and we are the money. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people was brought to New York City to work, to make money. The only reason why they accepted the Jews inside of New York City is so they can work. They said, we don't care about their religion. Let's let them work. We're going to make more money. And that's how they came here. You get what I'm saying? Because it's an industrialized state. And that's where it first started. Factories and apartments with crowded people. And that's still to this day. That was in way back when. You get what I'm saying?
Early 1900s, late 1800s.
Exactly. Right? So and it's still the same to this day. They putting us in apartments up amongst each other.
Right above businesses.
Yeah, exactly.
You go downstairs, you're above a bodega,
people.
You're above a shoe store.
And what? Y'all both have jobs. Everyone in that building have jobs. because you're brought here to work.
The amount of money
live
here is
uncomfortably.
incredible.
Never thought about it like that.
And live uncomfortably. You brought here to work and live uncomfortably.
How do y'all like living in the city? I never get.
I'm out.
Ya. Okay,
I'm out.
I know you want to stay in the city for the rest of your life. 100%.
I mean, one thing about me though, like I love this city, and I feel like there's no place like New York. But if I would have to leave the city, I have to be city-like environment. You know what I mean?
Really?
It's a thing I'm accustomed to. Like, you know, I love my people, black and brown people. Like I love everybody. It's diverse. You can't beat that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, it would have to, if I have to move, which I really don't want to, but it have to be more of a city-like standpoint.
New York City is mentally crippling for me, bro.
I don't see myself living anywhere.
You want to be on the move.
Like destination, like just stops. I just have there. I have there. If I feel like just waking up and going there, I'm there.
That's a good mindset to have for this point in your life.
Because it's like, why keep myself stuck in one area when I really don't have to? Why are we limit our mind to just live in one location?
Because that's how our ancestors grew up. But with the industrial world we live in now, that needs to change.
Why?
In the world of the internet, you can be anywhere you want to be.
And work from anywhere you're at.
Yep.
Because we have this.
Yes.
And that's why New York City is falling. Because niggas don't need to be here anymore.
And you could run a business inside New York City and not have to be in New York City. Right. So now you have a New York City income, living in Georgia, tripling your profit.
Starting a business in Georgia, and then you go to Montana.
Exactly, or Wyoming or something. Now you triple your profit even more.
Yeah.
But that's very important. Like, live different places, man. I probably live more places than most people. I came from Trinidad, moved to New York. I've lived in Rochester. I lived in Utica. Now I live in Jersey. You know what I mean? And I lived in Albany for a little bit too. And like everywhere you go, you do pick up a different sauce and you do grow as a person. I don't know if that's weird to say. You grow because you internalize the environment and you learn a new way of living and it teaches you. I would love to go down south and live with some rednecks for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I want to hunt with Bubba and, you know what I mean, do some crazy shit.
But one thing I want to touch on about that is like going to school, traveling, as we all probably did, right? Being from New York, it became so easy. Like being out of state, like, yo, I've been doing this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you go to California, like, for instance, I was living in San Diego. And to me, it seemed more like slower than New York. So it was easy for me to get going. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I've been doing this. Like, they're a little behind, but you know what I'm saying? We a little, you know what I'm saying? So I just try to, like, I love New York, honestly, you know what I mean? But I'm on a standpoint on what you were just talking about as well. I mean, I do want to live certain places and like that.
Where would you want to live if you got to choose a spot right now?
I'll go to Black Hollywood, Atlanta.
Okay.
For real, honestly. Black Atlanta or San Diego. Go back to San Diego.
What about you, Ed?
I'm not limiting myself to anywhere, man. I can't even put my mind.
I gave you $1 million in real estate credit. You have to buy 3 houses. Where are you buying those 3 houses?
The hot spots. Florida, Cali, and Atlanta.
Not Texas?
No.
Nah.
Did you see
Texas
what happened in
is where it's
Texas?
at.
Did you see what happened in Texas?
Yeah.
With the electricity?
snowstorm? Yeah,
It's a lot of stuff
like
going on,
it's you now that just taps into business. Are you really paying attention? So when you do get the money that you need to invest, you invest in the right
Texas is booming, bro. Texas is a better real estate investment right now than California. California is way overpriced.
And on fire every week.
Who wakes up and says, I want to go to Texas?
Me?
You.
I'm a country spirited person. I'm
I'm
from Trinidad, bro. This is my type of lifestyle.
But that's you out of the many.
Right.
Nick also lives in Jersey though, so you can't trust him.
And Rogan lives in Texas too. That makes it attractive. Just to double back real quick, I want to say something. Your mindset is very motivational, right? And I hope people was able to pick up some of those things throughout this interview. And when we were talking, you said, number one, you stopped scamming and you stopped trying to play football because you never felt like you was able to be number one at that. And in the lane that you're cultivating right now, you feel like you could be number one. Same thing for me. I'm sure it's the same thing for y'all too, everybody in the room. And it's weird when you want to be great, when you have these dreams of being great and you think it's going to be easy. You think, oh, all I have to do is work hard and I'm going to be great. But to your point, like you went through some dark times, and I want whoever's listening to this that might not have came to that conclusion yet. There's gonna be dark ass days, like really dark days where you question, why am I here? I don't know. Some people might even consider killing themselves, right? Not on no crazy stuff, but you question life. But those are the days that make you great.
I'll tell the people right now, seeds grow in the dark.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
Seeds grow in the dark. That's it. Seeds grow in the dark. And even with LeeGit Training, I had a lot of trial and errors. Seeing what works. Pricing, seeing what works, results wise, like seeing what works.
That's when you really learn what you're doing.
Yeah, and you learn the business that you're in.
Yep.
It started booming because I have this program called the 14-day program, whereas you get any female that comes to me gonna get results in less than 14 days.
And
So
it's proof.
And I have the results before and after pictures to prove it. The fastest results that I ever produced with a female is 7 days. You get what I'm saying? And she went from no abs to abs in 7 days.
And where are you located?
Right here in Ridgewood.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
My studio is right here, Central Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
You train a lot of women. Out of all the trainers, I barely see a lot of them women. You train a lot of women.
A lot of women. I love my woman. I feel like it's my duty to uplift them and show them the appreciation that society doesn't give them. Woman does a lot, right? But society always try to dig up holes and try to bury them and tell them what they cannot do. But they have the same mindset as me. They are so inspirational and so motivated to prove everyone that what they can do. But they continue to get knocked down. But if you look up the stats, we're winning right now. They have more drive and more motive than
100%.
most men out here. You get what I'm
100%.
saying? And they don't get the credit. So I make sure that when they come to LeeGit Training, they get uplifted and motivated. I tell my ladies all the time, I'm the only dude that you can have a toxic relationship with, because I'm the only one that can break you down and build you up. I said every other man, I don't know. I can't speak for them. But I can really break you down, because what I'm doing, I'm training your body. I'm breaking you down to the point that you want to cry, that you want to give up. But I make sure that at the end of the session, I give you 5, I give you hugs, make sure to tell you good job. I check up on you if you're feeling sore. Like, I make sure that I'm that involved with these ladies, because at the end of the day, we need them.
Yep.
God put them here on this earth to take care of the earth. While we here to provide, they're here to take care and nurture. I tell my ladies all the time, I need you. I need you as if I need my right hip.
Yeah.
I'm nothing without you. As a man, I'm nothing without you. Thank you for being a woman. Thank you for even considering LeeGit Training. I thank you. Thank you. What's wrong with us bowing down to our queens once in a while?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I make sure that they receive that love and that care and that nurture once they step in LeeGit Training. Is it going to be days where I get at them, I yell and scream at them? Yes. Because that's what comes with love, care, and passion. And if you hear my energy, if you know me, I'm not soft-spoken at all. So to be around me is to be around love, to be around passion, to be around energy. You get what I'm saying? So when it comes to my ladies, I don't joke around. I don't play around. I even deny certain men from coming in and training, because I don't need you around. Because what I'm doing, I'm changing and building them up. So anything that you may be coming with, even bad intentions, I don't need you around while I'm building them up.
There's something about dedicated women that it's different from a dedicated man. A dedicated woman isn't gonna think the same way that a dedicated man is. I know I'm a dedicated man, and I get in my head some days and I like start bashing myself, this, that. But I've met some women that are dedicated, and they surpass all that stuff constantly. Like, I don't know,
They're
man.
built different. I'm telling you, me training women,
That's a different
I
thing.
notice how much they're built different. Us men, a lot of men make a lot of goddamn excuses for themselves.
Yeah.
want to point the finger. How you feel so comfortable pointing the finger at the
We were
next
on a
man?
pedestal for all of eternity.
It doesn't even.
But
matter.
women always been the smarter of the breed, though. Like we you know what I mean. We were valuable because we had to, you know what I mean, hunt and gather. If you want to take it back then,
Yeah,
but
women were like, all right, go hunt lion.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sit here and not hunt a lion.
and they were
die.
cultivating their sensitivities, their emotional intelligence, their caringness. You know what I mean? All the things that really matter. And now that we're in a society that we don't need to hunt or gather, they kind of have the one up on
They're
us.
a mother of all living things. Like
Crazy.
They're the mother. They're Eve. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's who they are. This is what their responsibility is. And a lot of men ask too much of the woman because they ask for the man role and the female role. Pick one. What type of woman you want?
Right.
If you want to pay all the bills, then you could keep her in the house. But you can't expect her to pay the bills and keep the house clean and do this and do that. What are you here for? You get what I'm saying? Right. You have to know what you want out of a woman. A lot of dudes don't even know what they want out of a woman. They just expect a woman to just be a woman. No, you have to tell her, you have to teach her, this is how I want you to do, this is what I want you to do. You have to teach. Your job as a man is to provide and teach. You have to provide the structure of the household. It's your household. You're the head of the house. And on the papers, head of household. Especially when you're married, you're head of household. So you have to build that structure and platform of what you want out of the woman. So when they come into my training, I say, here's the legit training standards. Here's what I expect from you. If you don't like it, this is not the place for you. Straight like that. At that point, the gender is left at the door because this is my standard. Woman or not, I don't care if you're having cramps. I don't care because 95% of my clientele have cramps. So what are you telling me right now? Yes, everyone is different. Some is severe to others. So I do have empathy for those that have severe cramps. But it's like, come on, how long are we gonna be playing this game?
Right.
Because if you saying you want this lifestyle and you text my phone talking about you want the results, I'm giving you the standard. Like here's how we do it.
This is what you're expecting.
I think if you're a lady looking for a trainer in New York City, you know who you got to hit up.
I'm not doing this for much longer. I give myself probably, I don't know, but I'm not doing this for much longer. I'm a businessman. I just trained because I was searching for a way to provide for myself, and I excelled at this at a very fast rate. Like I said, I'm now focusing on removing and running my business. Okay. So now, actually, what I'm doing is providing opportunities for other trainers in New York City because I've invested in myself so deeply that I'm getting a gym. So I'm going to have a gym, and I'm going to have trainers in New York City that don't have gyms to be able to train inside my gym. And I'm going to
put out an ad right now for trainers that might want to join your gym.
Anybody. I talked to D. Nels about joining the gym because the gym is going to be called the Locker Room.
Smooth.
You know what I'm saying? Fire. Anybody that was an athlete know how the locker room is and know the vibe is, and that's what I want to put to the society. What's the vibe of an athlete? How an athlete lives? Yeah, what better situation to put them in than locker room? Mm-hmm. So the locker room is my next big project, and I want to then provide trainers with the most opportunity that they can ever receive. I want to put them in rooms with a bunch of clients and let the clients be able to say, I want this trainer, I want this trainer, I want that. And do it on a strength whereas I let the trainers train there for free. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Unless they wanted to lock down the whole building and have a class, then we come into that area. But I want to see other trainers grow as fast as I grew. I want to help other trainers. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Because what I notice is that a lot of trainers have great content, but nothing behind it. Yeah. So I want to help. Now my focus is on helping other people get to how I got there. So the locker room is my way of giving back to New York City and giving back to New York City trainers. So I'm really trying to focus on connecting and marketing because I want to help people, but I don't want to come off as if like you joining me because it's not you joining me. Because screw legit training. It's not about legit training no more. It's about the locker room. It's not legit training. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. I am legit training. Wherever I am at, that's where legit training is happening. All right? But the locker room, feel free to use the locker room. I'm setting up events in Greenpoint to as it's going to be a big old free fitness class, and I want to have trainers come to the fitness class so as they could bounce off and ping pong off clientele. Yo, look at this trainer. Look at this trainer. Look at this trainer. Look at that trainer. Choose whoever you want to train with. Because I came at first in my business, I was like, screw every trainer, because I was trying to focus on building myself. But now I can't really train everybody that want to train with me.
Yeah.
Now, look, that one is there. This one is there. That one is there. This one is there. That one is there. Let's go. Let's get this thing going. You get what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at. But for right now, take advantage of me because I'm still training.
There we go. Get linked with. Where can people find you?
LeeGit Training on Instagram. LeeGit Training on Instagram.
That's a play off the last name right there.
Right. And
How do you say LeeGit?
It's just legit.
It just goes. I feel like it goes with it. Like, it's all good. Like
That's pretty.
Yeah, but when you spell it, it's just Lee.
I think this was a dope conversation, bro.
Appreciate it.
I really think you came, you performed, you definitely got your message across.
I hope so.
Anything
Great
else?
stories you got, man, and a lot of people it would be a pleasure for a lot of people to hear and see that you could really get out of wherever you are, whatever dark place you're in,
Napoleon Hill said it the best. Whatever the mind can believe and conceive, the mind can achieve.
Yeah.
He said you don't need no education, you don't need no finances, you don't need no experience. You just have to believe. And I believed that I could do all of this. Did I believe I could do all of this in the short amount of time that I did it in? No, but I never gave myself a time limit. I just said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have this. And it started happening. But you have to make sure that you put all energy into that. A lot of people like to, I'm going to drink this water and I'm going to text on my phone at the same time. You spreading your energy thin. Are you going to drink the water or are you going to text? Because whatever you do, single-handedly is going to be able to be done at a more effective rate. But if you try to do two things at once, it's not going to be as effective. So what I'm trying to say is now, focus. Focus on the task at hand. I tell my ladies all the time, because I have a lot of entrepreneurs as clients. Last checks, everything. They come to me with scatter minds. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. I say, slow down. What is it that you want to do? What's the ultimate goal? Okay, that's the ultimate goal. Now, what's before that? Okay, what's before that? So right now, you need to focus on this. Don't give energy to nothing else. I want to see you post nothing else on Instagram unless it's regarding this. So now, I don't only just train my ladies in regards to fitness. I also give them business counsel. I also provide them with opportunities to market themselves on my platform and things like that. There's a lot of things that goes into the training that's outside of training, but that's what makes it legit. You get what I'm saying? Because it's a full cycle of training.
Ooh.
A full way of living. It's not just the body. It's the mind, the body, the spirit, everything.
That's
you get what I'm
nice.
saying?
Absolutely.
It's a whole vibe. And if you ask me what separates myself as a trainer from everyone else, is that I make sure that my ladies are good all the way around the board. Like I just told you, last night I took my clients out for appreciation dinner. Just giving thanks to some of my clients. It's okay. You pay me every month. What's for me to just pay for your food and have dinner? Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Because some people get so big, whereas they forget why they big. I'm big because of my clientele. I'm gonna make sure that you're not hungry. I'm gonna make sure that you're good. I'm gonna always make sure you're good because you're making sure that I'm good. Yeah, one hand wash the other, but really you making sure that I'm good. And I thank you. I thank all my clients. I think when Nick wanted to interview me, I thank you. You know what I'm saying? Gratitude. I give gratitude. Sharif trusted me to train with me when I had no clientele. Thank you. You get what I'm saying? You help keep my mind going, help keep me in my creative state. You help me get my mind off the fact that I don't have as much clientele as I didn't at the moment. You know what I'm saying? You kept me busy throughout my day to as now you helped me prepare for my 50 clients because you kept me busy. So I was now building that same endurance that I needed for these 50 clients with you for free. You get what I'm saying? I was training you for free, and I was exercising myself physically to as, okay, if I want this, I have to know how to be able to work for this time span.
One question before we get out of here. Where do you see yourself in the next 30 to 40 years?
30 to 40 years? That's too far ahead.
Where do you see yourself in the future? Next 20.
Next 20 years? Well, my name is going to be well exalted by then.
It's gonna be what?
Exalted.
What that mean?
Brought to several nations. Like, my name is going to be known. My name in the kingdom is Dinosaur. All right. And that's God's words. I'm not just sitting here speaking. My name will be known. But I'm going to always give gratitude and appreciation. I'm not going to go back to the old Ed and be like, yeah, you don't know me? Nah. Because you're going to know me now for the love that I give. You're going to know me now for the opportunity that I gave you, that I try to put you on. That's I want to be known for that. Because for a long time, I was known as the asshole. I'm tired of being known as the asshole. I want to be known as the one that provided opportunity to help, to do unto others as I want it to be done unto myself.
And that goes with the energy that you're sending out.
Yeah.
Because if you're sending out asshole energy, people are just going to see you as the asshole. You send out this energy where you're helping 50 to 60 people a week get right mentally, physically. The energy you're going to get back is tremendous.
Yeah, and it all started just me just realizing who I am and what I had to change about myself. And that's to answer your question. I feel like I'm going to be exalted. Whether in business, exalted in ministries, doing God's work in those areas. But 20 years is a long time. I don't even try to think that far ahead. You kind of spread it, like you kind of do yourself a disservice when you think that far. I don't think that far. I just think what's next. Then focus and lock in on what's next. And then what's next? Focus and lock in. Then what's next? Focus and lock in. And then in a matter of months, things that you thought would have took you 20 years take you a couple months. Because if you spend energy focused on where you want to be in 20 years, that's exactly how long it's going to take you, bro. 20 years. But if you focus on it right now, it's going to happen right now. That's the kind of the mindset that I also put into my training. Like, don't think about, oh, I can't do it. Think about, I'm not being able to do it, so I'm going to work at it so I can do it. The word can't is not allowed in my fitness studio. There's no such thing as can't. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people told me, I can't. I won't be able to. My own father told me that anything that I get into myself into in life, I won't be successful at it. Because everything I start, I don't finish. Now I'm making more than him.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Ed Lee on the Nick and Mal Show. Bala, thank you for pulling up. Sharif, thank you for pulling up with your friend. And I hope y'all picked up gems. The word for this podcast is focus.
Focus.
Focus up.
No.
Spit out.
Bow!
Yep. Ever told on a nigga? No. Ever squeezed a trigger? Yep. Ever set a nigga up? No. Ever helped a brother out when he was down?